Hello to whoever sees this. I'm about to end my 4-year relationship, 30f/33 meters, and we are supposed to get married in 2 months. Would appreciate any support or advice. Some of the pros. My life is totally entangled with his. We have a beautiful apartment, 2 sweet cats, and mutual friends. He's got a great job and a secure future. We could have children soon. I'm in my early 30s and know that my fertile years won't last much longer, and I really want kids. Also, he can be very supportive when I'm in emotional turmoil. I depend on him a lot. Things I hate about him: he's a bit of a bully, and he's very immature and stubborn about changing. People around him know him for being an extremely competent, high-achieving asshole. Getting closer to the wedding date, these things are starting to stand out more and more. Recently I've noticed myself longing for other people. My heart is telling me to leave. I'm just so scared about the change. I have a good job that will make it financially possible for me to leave, and I know that I'm strong enough to do it. My best friend who I'm extremely close with lives nearby too, so I have one person to depend on, but other than that, I don't have anyone who I trust. I'm going to be cutting myself off from the main emotionally support I have with my fiancé. TLDR, I just dread this breakup. Leaving sucks but staying sucks more. I don't have a huge support network, so looking for support here. I left a 4-year relationship a year and some months ago. Weeks up until the actual breakup I was sobbing my guts out to my therapist saying how can I ever leave someone that I feel like is a part of me. But that relationship was so toxic, and he had done some unforgivable things that I knew I would never get over, and I knew what had to be done. A month after the breakup I met my current partner, and I'm loved and supported in ways I only thought was meant for other couples. We are planning on getting married next year. I graduated from therapy, and I'm thriving so much that I can't believe it wasn't even 18 months ago that I was crying myself to sleep every night and waking up every morning crying. I know what's ahead of you is unimaginably difficult, and it will feel like you're ripping your heart out, but I promise you, you will heal more quickly than you might imagine, and good things and people will come your way. You just have to put yourself in a place where they can get to you. This is such a happy story. Thanks for sharing. I can get to the other side too. It's really hard to leave your partner and uproot your entire life. It's even harder to do that after a marriage license is signed. Take a deep breath and start getting a plan together. It won't be pain-free, but it'll be worth it in the end. And harder still once there are children that he also will have custody of. It sucks a bunch, but this is the best moment to leave if you already actually want to. I broke up with my fiancé 2 weeks before my wedding and never ever regretted it. Also had to start over almost from scratch, but just take it one day at a time and you will be happy again sooner than you think. I too broke up recently with my fiancé. Was very tough, but there were a lot of issues in our relationship and I don't think it would have worked out in the long run. Have not looked back since. Was definitely hard in the beginning, but taking things one day at a time definitely worked and helped. This will be difficult, but if it feels like the right thing to do, do it. When are in situations like this, we have to be gentle with ourselves. Staying and living a lie is never good. Take time to land on your feet before seeking new relationships. You are going to be just fine. Thank you. I love your username BTW. My heart is telling me to leave. Pay attention. You will be okay. Better times ahead without him. Don't marry a bully. Good luck, Opus. You'll think back to this moment in a few years when you've found your happiness and be so happy that you listened to your gut. Yeah, 4 years is about the time people show their true colors in a relationship. Sorry babe. That really sucks. There are hundreds of thousands of kids in the foster system looking for a good home, even if that's with a single mother. Might not rule that out. I say after 1 year, they'll show you their true color. Anything after shows you if they are mature enough to acknowledge/grow/compromise. I divorced my first ex at 29. He was a bully too. I married my second ex 4 years later and had my one and only kid at 37. I always had seen myself with kids before 30, but I actually have zero regrets having my kid later in life. So don't let that stop you. my first ex, and I AHD tried to get pregnant, and I'm still eternally grateful that that didn't happen. The thought of being alone is scary, but I think you will find that a huge weight will have been lifted off your shoulders once the dust has settled. I was scared to leave my second ex. He was an alcoholic, but had a very good job, made very good money, and we had a more than comfortable lifestyle. But man, did I feel relief when I moved out. Too many people stay in an unhappy and/or unhealthy relationship because it's easier than splitting up. At least you realized before tying the knot. You will have saved yourself a lot of headaches by getting out now, as hard as it is. You say you depend on him a lot. Sounds like you may be codependent. It wouldn't be a bad idea to get some therapy for that. That way you will attract healthier partners in the future. Good luck. It seemed like you're making the right choice, however hard that may be. Only one of your pros, the last one, is actually a pro. The others are just that you don't want upheaval. Is that one pro enough to marry a bully? Your gut appears to know the answer. It seems like you know what to do, you just have to do it. So, do it. It's going to suck at first, but sounds like you'll be much happier after you rip the band-aid off. Just remember, divorce is so much worse and costs money. In 10 years, you will look back and be so glad you did this. Your person is out there, it's just not him. The most competent professional I've ever met in my life is also the nicest person I've ever known by many miles. I only mention this in case you are thinking all successful people are jerks by nature and are afraid you will have to settle for a man who is less ambitious. If ambition is important to you, which is completely valid, especially if you are an ambitious person yourself, you shouldn't settle. I see far too many people settling for straight up abusive people due to not being able to abide laziness in a partner and confusing coldness for professionalism. You will feel so free once you ditch the dead weight. Thanks for that reminder. You're right, of course. It's just easy to overlook that there are plenty of successful / competent people out there who are not assholes in their daily lives. Anticipation is often worse than the actual event. Once it's over, you'll breathe a sigh of relief. It's better to end it now before kids and marriage, if you're not certain. I'm so proud of you. I wish I had been brave enough to walk away when I knew in my heart that he was the wrong person for me, but instead got married and had a pretty toxic time. I finally did leave, but I promise you the turmoil now will be worth it. Take time to focus on you. Remember who you are as an individual and what you want from your life. Also, my second and current husband is the love of my life, so it worked out for me, and I'm sure will for you too. I was married to a really nice woman. I'm also a woman. From 2007 to 2013, and over time our priorities changed. I have always been chilled free and my ex said she was too, but ended up changing her mind. I was the one that left the relationship. It was difficult. My ex is from overseas and had no family where we were living. I also left her with our beloved dog, as I would have felt like even more of an art taking her too. It was the right thing for both of us, even though it was hard at the time. I still live in the same city. She and dog moved back overseas in 2015. You can do this, one day at a time. All of those things that bother you now will infuriate you when you have children. Parenting brings out the worst in most people because it's extremely triggering. Leaving now will be hard, but you do not want to reproduce with this petulant man. Get rid of him. There's no changing bullies at any point. You've got this. Make sure you know where every dime of your money is, and preferably move out while he's not home. It's not an easy thing to do, but break up. Aside from his behavior and how people see him, the most important thing here is how you feel and that you are longing for other people. That's a red flag. You should be feeling longing only for him, so close to the wedding. Get out now. Rip off the band-aid. An entangled life can be entangled, and don't fret the fertility issue too much. You have a life to live. Good luck. Don't get married. Don't marry an asshole. All of the things that you like about him are related to some need that you have. You don't actually respect him. Trust your heart. You know that your life will decay if you're married to him. If you have children, it will be worse, and you will be permanently entangled with the massive responsibility of keeping children from harm. He likes that he's your only emotional support. If you were in a respectful relationship, he'd want you to have great friends. He'd step up to being nice so that your friendship includes him now. But he doesn't because he's an asshole. Don't marry an asshole. Asshole and bully doesn't sound like your dream man. This is the best he will be, as once you get married, all the bad traits will come out. I'm afraid you're right. It hasn't gotten worse over time already. I wish I had been this brave before I married my first husband. I knew deep down that it wouldn't work, but I felt too far in already, and I loved him. You know what is right. And you have plenty of time for kids. I had my second at 39. I'm wishing you all the best for a very happy future. It won't be easy in the short term, but your heart is telling you something that your brain shouldn't ignore. No one should ever be married to an asshole who is a bully. I also hope that once you've broken off the relationship you'll gradually build a solid friendship/support network. Me too. I need more support in my life and this relationship has taken so much out of me. I dated a guy for a couple of years when I was 26 to 28. We weren't engaged, but were planning on ring shopping and actively house shopping. I was a single mom of a 3-year-old son and my boyfriend was a decent man, but a long-time functional alcoholic. I knew he wasn't ever going to make me happy, but I just resigned myself to life with him. I finally realized that I'd rather be alone than to be in a mediocre relationship, so I broke up with him in July. In November I met my husband. We'll be married 21 years next month and my heart is singing just typing about him. I always say my husband was my reward for doing what was right for me. My son grew up to be a wonderful man in large part because of the influence of my incredible husband. He will be an amazing husband and father someday because he learned from the best. This is what you want for you. This is what you want for your future children. You are doing the right thing, I promise you. Don't ever settle for anything less. I'm proud of you for doing what's right for you.